At the family reunion, my dad pointed at me and shouted, "You're the family's biggest disappointment, a complete failure." I grinned, poured myself another drink, and said, "Takes one to know one, doesn't it, embezzler?" My uncle laughed, "Look at you pretending to be successful when you're just a pathetic nobody." I smiled wider, pulled out documents, and said, "And I remember who owns your house now. Spoiler, it's not you." 3 days later, I froze their assets, called in the loans, and filed for foreclosure. But the real show hadn't even started. I had years of revenge plans, so I guess I never thought I'd be the guy posting this kind of thing. But here we are. If you've ever sat through a family reunion and wondered if you were the only one who wanted to just drop a bomb and walk out, trust me, you're not going to do a whole intro. I'm Parker, I'm 29, oldest kid, only son, my familyist kind, that acts like we're functional, but everyone's got receipts on everyone else, and there's always someone sitting on something nasty waiting for a reason. My dad Sterling and Uncle Austin basically run the show. Everyone else rotates around them, and they're both the type to hold a grudge over who got the bigger steak at dinner. 5 years ago, my mom Loretta just tries to keep the peace. She's constantly group texting me and my sister Miranda Cora the minute anything seems off at these. So anyway, the reunion this year was at some random rental place like 40 minutes out, one of those community center things that smells like old cleaning supplies and cheap buffet food. Not that anyone cares. I show up a little late, got stuck behind a tractor, welcome to the edge of nowhere, and the first thing I see is Austin's wife Hilda hovering near the door with her phone, trying to get better reception and looking like she'd rather be anywhere else inside. It's the usual, everyone doing the rounds with paper plates, cousins on their phones, my dad already on his second whiskey and talking too lewd. Now here's the first thing that felt off. My dad barely even looks at me when I walk in, just a side eye like I'm late for class or something. I go get a drink, fake a smile at Miranda. She's deep in some group chat drama, probably. She just nods, and I hang back by the drinks table, scrolling through my phone, catching up on DMs. After like 20 minutes, everyone's kind of gathered for announcements, which in my family just means a bunch of flexing about new cars and who got what for their kid's birthday. I'm barely paying attention until Austin starts going on about how some people just don't know how to make the right choices with money. Sterling with this fake laugh and a look right at me. So that's how it starts. My dad doesn't miss a beat. He just launches right into this whole thing about how not everyone in this family pulls their weight. And it's a shame when the older ones set a bad example. Everyone's looking at him, then at me, then at their phones, like maybe if they scroll fast enough, they'll miss the drama. I just stand there drinking, hand wondering if he's really doing this in front of everyone. And then he points, literally points, like some middle school teacher, and says I'm the family's biggest disappointment, like word for word. I just laugh. I don't even try to hide it. I'm not even surprised, honestly. It's always been like this with him. He's got this thing about me not being the right kind of man or whatever, and yeah, there's history. He's always been mad that I don't just do what he tells me. I think he resents that I don't need him for money or advice. What really gets me is the way people just let him, like nobody says a word. Loretta's over by the potato salad, looking like she might intervene, but she's got that look like, please don't make this worse. Cora's texting under the table. Miranda's just staring at me, waiting for me to say something stupid. So I do, I guess. I top off my drink really slow, and I look right at my dad, and I say, not even raising my voice, that it takes one to know one, right? And I call him an embezzler. Austin just starts laughing like he thinks I'm making a joke, but he's got this weird edge to it. Makes me think he knows exactly what I'm talking about, and then he cuts in saying I'm pretending to be successful, and that I'm just a nobody. And honestly, you'd think we were in a bad sitcom, except everyone's dead silent except for the two of them. I just smile like the biggest irritating grin I can manage, and I pull out the folder I brought. Yes, I brought it. Long story, but I was ready for this. I've been ready for years. I just didn't think it'd be this public. I slide the docs across the table to Austin. Loan agreement, signatures, property transfer stuff, nothing illegal, all above board, but definitely not the kind of thing anyone wants read out loud at a family. I just say, and I remember who owns your house now. Spoiler, it's not you. He stops laughing. You could hear a fork drop. Hilda actually does drop her fork, and Loretta just closes her eyes like she's counting to 10. Austin grabs the folder, flips through it, and looks at me like he wants to throw it at my head, but he just sets it down. My dad, he goes red, then white, then red again. He tries to say something, but my mom cuts him off, says not now, not here. He pushes past her, slams his glass down on the counter so hard it cracks, and storms out. Doesn't even look at me. Door slams so hard the wall shakes. Rest of the room just kind of sits there, nobody really sure what to do. My cousin Jordan, not even a real cousin, just kind of married, and actually asks if it's real, like, am I just being dramatic? Austin still holding the folder, looking at the number. I can see him starting to get pissed, but he's got enough sense not to start a scene with Iverian staring. Miranda gets up, walks over to me, and just goes, "Are you serious right now?" And I just say, "Yeah, I'm serious." The whole vibe is ruined. People start packing up their stuff like they're afraid if they stick around someone's going to get punched. Loretta tries to talk to me, as I didn't have to do it like that, but I'm done, I'm just done. I take my phone, say goodbye to nobody in particular, and walk outside. It's already dark. I just stand there for a second listening to people inside pretending like nothing happened. Then Austin comes out, folder in hand, and tries to get in my face, but I just stare back. He's breathing heavy, but he backs off and goes back inside muttering. I get in my car and just sit there. I'm not proud, not embarrassed, just done, like that's it. But here's the thing, I wasn't even close to being done. That was just the first shot. 3 days later, I pulled the trigger on everything I'd been holding back. But if you think it ended there, you're wrong. This family doesn't go down without a fight. Update 1. All right, so 3 days after the reunion blow up, and I swear the weirdest thing is how normal everything feels at first. Like I wake up, I scroll IG, make oatmeal, water my stupid plants, doom scroll for a bit, and you'd think nothing happened except my phone's buzzing every 10 minutes with another family text. First weird sign, Loretta. My mom sends me this huge wall of text saying she's disappointed but not surprised, and can I please call her before I do anything else rash. She says Austin's been calling their house nonstop and Hilda is worried about optics, which just means she's mad people saw her drop her fork probably. Then I get this short text from my dad. If you want to be part of this family, fix this. No punctuation, just that I don't reply by the afternoon. The group chat is a mess. Cora is on there. Miranda's not saying much. Jordan is trying to start a meme war. I swear, he just wants to get kicked out of the chat for the attention. Austin is not in the chat, Hilda is, and she's passive-aggressive as you, sending praying hand emojis to everything. So whatever, I ignore most of it and just do it. I go into my files, find the folders I've had saved for years. This is the part people never believe, but honestly, it's not that hard to keep receipts if you expect people to screw you over. Since you were like 12, I send the paperwork to the lawyer who handled the house transfer with Austin. Nothing weird, no loopholes, just calling in the loan with my dad. It's a little messy, but I have all the docs, account statements, everything from his secret investment that he used my name for back when he still thought I'd just do what he said. Ickle the bank flag, the accounts freeze, what I can under my name, start the process of pulling out of the joint stuff. It's not dramatic, it's just paperwork and waiting on hold and dealing with some woman who keeps calling me sir and then honey in the same sentence. By the end of the day, I've started foreclosure on Austin's house, my house technically, but he's been renting it for years, barely pays, always late, then acts like it's his God-given right to live there. I send the email, sign the forms, and then I just sit there eating leftover pizza and watching TikToks like it's just another Tuesday night. I don't tell anyone right away. I want them to feel it first. Next morning I wake up to missed calls from Austin, Hilda, and one from Miranda, which is weird. She never calls. Is me like, "Are you really doing this?" I just reply, "Yeah." Cora says I'm being an underscore, that Austin and Hilda are freaking out, that Hilda threw a mug at the wall, and Austin tried to call Loretta to get her to talk sense into. Then Miranda texts, says Mom is crying, Dad is in one of his moods and wants to come over. I say don't let him in. By noon my phone is just constant. Hilda calls. I pick up, she's yelling, says I'm ruining the family, says I'll regret making Austin homeless. I say he can always try paying rent for. She hangs up. Austin texts me, says I'm an ungrateful brat, that I wouldn't have anything if it weren't for him and Sterling. I don't bother replying. Then the part where people actually start pushing back. Dad shows up at my apartment. I see his car out the window. He's just sitting there for like 20 minutes. Finally, I go down. He gets out, slams the door so hard it makes the neighbor's dog bark. He tries to get in my face, says I'm destroying everything, that I don't know what I'm doing, that I'm embarrassing him. I tell him he embarrassed himself years ago. He shoves me, not hard, just enough to try and get a reaction. I stand my ground, say if he tries that again, I'll call the landlord and have him trespassed. He backs off, but he's shaking real mad. I can tell he wants to hit me, but there's people watching from the building across the lot, so he just glares, gets back in the car, and peels out. I go back upstairs, and there's like 5 new texts from Loretta. Now she wants to mediate and says I'm being cruel, that I don't understand what this will do to the family. I tell her I know exactly what I'm doing. Miranda is mad, says I'm making Mom sick with stress. I don't even know if I believe that honestly, but I don't respond. The next day is just more of the same. Jordan texts me a meme about family meetings be like, with that Spider-Man pointing me, which is actually kind of funny, but not the time. Cora sends me this long paragraph about how I could have just talked to them, that I'm acting like Dad, that I don't have to be so cold. I just leave her on re, I guess. The point where I realize it's not just Austin and my dad losing it is when Miranda posts some cryptic Insta story about family snakes, and I get DMs from two cousins who weren't at the reunion saying they heard I'm kicking Austin out on the street. So now it's out in the wild. Family chat is chaos, everyone's taking sides. Loretta is trying to get me to pause everything. Austin and Hilda are threatening to get lawyers involved. My dad is radio silent, but I know he's plotting something. Nobody actually asks if any of it is true. Everyone just wants to pick a side. No one asks about all the times Austin skipped rent, or my dad used my name for investment, or the years I spent being told I was useless while they used me as a shield for their own screw-ups. They just wanted to go away. I go to the bank to sign more papers. It's awkward. The woman behind the desk keeps glancing at me like she recognizes me from somewhere, but doesn't want to ask. I hand over the docs. She double-checks everything. Says the process will take a few weeks, and I'll get updates by mail. I say cool, leave, grab a sandwich on the way home. On the walk back, I see Austin's car drive by. Yeah, he knows where I live. He's petty like that. He slows down, but doesn't stop. I flip him off. He keeps going. By the end of day 3, I've blocked Hilda and Austin. Loretta is still sending guilt texts. Miranda is mad at everyone. Cora is pretending none of it is happening. The weirdest part is that I don't feel bad, not even a little. I just feel done, like I finally got to say what nobody else would, and now they have to actually deal with it. But if you think they're just going to let me walk away after this, lol, nah. This is where they start to fight back. Next update. When they actually try to play dirty, trust me, they're not just going to roll over. If anyone's got family drama tips, LMK. And yes, I know I'm being savage. It's about time. Update 2. So I thought the hardest part would be the actual paperwork and pulling the trigger on everything. But yeah, jokes is on me. The real show started after. It's just like I don't even know what normal is supposed to be at this point. First weird thing I notice, Austin unblocked me on SMS, which I didn't even know he could do that fast, and starts spamming me with these all caps texts like you can't do this, and I know people and you're not getting away with it. So obviously he's mad. But then he starts getting clever, like suddenly he's asking for a meeting to work out a payment plan, which I know is because the guy's never paid me a full month's rent in his life. Then he'll detect me from a different number like, hi Parker, can we please just talk? You don't have to do, it's not fair to the family. I ignore both, block the new number, keep receipts. Loretta calls me at 7 o'clock in the morning, which yeah, I get up early, but not like that, and she's got this whole thing about how Austin is lawyering up, and she doesn't want things to get ugly. I tell her it's already ugly. She hangs up. Miranda is still on Insta posting, if you think family means nothing, just unfollow me now. Stories like it's about someone else. Cora sends me a playlist link, no message, just the link, which is her way of saying, this is stressful, but I'm pretending it isn't happening. Dad is dead silent, which is how you know he's plotting something. I keep waiting for the other shoe to drop, so a couple days pass, and I get a notice in the mail, regular snail mail, which is weirdly formal, saying Austin is disputing the foreclosure and is seeking alternative arrangement. I'm not even surprised. I call the lawyer, same one from before. No new players, just the guy I've used for years, and he says yeah, Austin's trying to delay claims, the loan was never intended to be called in, and that he was misled when he signed. Cool story, except I have the texts and emails and everything. Plus, Hilda literally sent me a Christmas card last year thanking me for letting them stay in their house another year. So I send that over. Meanwhile, Dad finally shows up at my place again. He buzzes up. I answer, stands in the doorway, arms crossed, doesn't come in, just says we need to talk. I say we're talking. He tries to use the "you're making your mother sick" card, then pivots to "you're ruining your own future." He starts raising his voice. I tell him to keep it down. He pushes past me. I block the door with my arm. He tries to shove me again, harder this time. I push back. He calls me a selfish bastard. I tell him if he's not leaving, I'm calling the landlord. He slams the door in his way out hard enough. My neighbor texts me, everything okay? I just reply, family stuff. So yeah, it's not over. Next thing, Austin tries to get cute. I get an email from some random property consultant who says on behalf of Mr. Austin, he's prepared to negotiate a buyout or amicable release. I Google the number. It's a voicemail line with zero info. I forward it to my lawyer. He says it's just a delay tactic. I keep getting calls from Hilda like every day, each one more desperate. One day, she just leaves a voicemail sobbing, saying I'm destroying them, that Austin is not well, and nobody would do this to family. The next day she's cold, says I'm scum, that everyone knows what I'm really like. I save the voicemails, block her again. Then family group chat goes nuclear. Miranda posts a long message about how some people are tearing the family apart for money. Cora leaves the chat entirely. Jordan tries to get everyone to play Jackbox on Discord that night. Like nothing's happening, nobody joins. Loretta tries to call a family meeting on Zoom. I decline the invite, text her direct. Say I'm not doing this on camera. She says your father wants to apologize. I don't believe it for a second. Miranda texts me after, says dad's just mad he can't get into his accounts. I reply, tell him to get a new hobby. Then it starts getting personal. Miranda texts me at 2 a.m. says she's hearing things about me, that Austin is telling people I stole the house and manipulated dad into signing things. I say check the paperwork. She says she doesn't want to pick sides. I tell her to late, you already did when you stayed silent at the reunion. She leaves me on read. Next, Austin actually comes to my building. I see him from the lobby camera. He's standing at the door, talking to the doorman, waving his hands around. I don't go down. He leaves after like 10 minutes. I get a text says you're dead to me. I just laugh, block him again. Meanwhile, I notice my phone is getting weird calls, numbers I don't know, voicemails from concerned relatives. One cousin says, I should think about what you're doing, this is forever. Another says, it's not too late to fix things. I ignore all of it. Real consequence time. I get a letter saying the foreclosure is officially going forward. Austin's deadline to respond is set. He has to be out in a couple months. If he doesn't come up with the money, Hilda sends me one last desperate email, offers to make a deal. I ignore it. Then the kicker, my dad tries to get in through the back door. He calls my mom and tells her to convince me to drop everything. Loretta calls, says she's tired and doesn't know what else to do. I tell her she can stay out of it. She hangs up. I go to get groceries and run into Miranda in the parking lot. She walks up, says I'm making a mistake. I say you never had my back. She slaps me. I just walk away. The next week is all emails, calls, paperwork, more threats, more begging. Some days I wonder if it's worth it. But every time I see an email from Austin or hear my dad's voice, I remember every time they made me the joke, the scapegoat, the kid who never measures up. Now they're the one sweating. So yeah, the fallout is ugly. Family is fractured. Cousins picking sides. Group chat is dead. Family dinners not happening. Some people think I'm a monster. Some finally text me like good for you. Miranda is still mad. Cora is quiet. Loretta is tired. Dad is furious. Austin is desperate. But I'm not backing down. The foreclosure is moving. My dad is locked out of what he thought he owned. I'm still here, not sorry. What's next? The house goes up for sale. Austin and Hilda have to pack. My dad's going to try something else. I know it, but I'm ready. Final update coming. If you've stuck with me this far, wait for the finish. If you think I'm over the top, you haven't met my family. Final update. So I guess this is the last update, unless something truly wild happens. But honestly, by now I didn't even hope for closure or whatever. It's just done. I did what I planned. I'm not sorry. And yeah, everyone's still mad. But it's over for now. I knew things would get messy once foreclosure was officially. You think it would just be paperwork and moving trucks. But lol, nothing with my family is that simple. The first weird thing was how quiet it got. Like nobody wanted to talk about it in the group chat anymore. Not even Jordan with his memes. It's like when you nuke the group text and everyone just leaves it dead because nobody wants to be the first one to say. So about that time Parker burned down the house, metaphorically. Austin and Hilda finally got the certified mail, so they knew it was real. Austin tried calling me again, blocked, then left a voicemail threatening to take it to court, which whatever, he'd already tried that and lost. Hilda sent an email to Loretta, CC'd me saying Parker is being vindictive and we hope you're proud. Loretta forwarded it to me with just I'm tired in the body. Miranda texted me just you're a piece of work. I left her on read the day Austin and Hilda had to move out. I drove by just to make sure they were actually doing it. Not my proudest moment, but I wanted to see they had a U-Haul. Hilda was yelling at Austin in the driveway. Austin saw me and flipped me off. I smiled and waved. They slammed the truck door. Seeing that was, I don't know, it was a long time coming. I don't feel good about it. But I don't feel bad either. Meanwhile, my dad is still trying to play puppet master. He called Loretta, told her to try one more time to talk sense into me. Loretta called me voice all thin, said she just wants it over. I told her it is over. She hung up. I guess the most awkward part was when I started getting texts from cousins. I barely talked to some of them saying good for you, and others saying I can't believe you do that to family. One cousin never met him in person, sent me a paragraph about loyalty and how blood is thicker than water. And I just replied, not when you're drowning in it. He blocked me. Miranda posted, a family isn't blood, it's who shows up, quote, on her story. The day Austin moved out, Cora just posted a photo of her cat. The legal stuff dragged for a while. Obviously, Austin tried one more time to stall, saying he was negotiating with me, which was just him sending me emails with random offers. I never answered. The house went up for sale. I got the listing notice, and yeah, Austin and Hilda had to give up the keys. My dad showed up at my building again. this time with a folder he tried to get in, but I buzzed him out. He banged on Theodore, yelled, said, "I'll regret this." My neighbor yelled back, told him to shut up. He left, slammed his cart, or peeled out. Loretta texted me a few days later, said she was staying with Miranda for a while. She said, "I hope you're happy." I said, "I'm not happy, I'm done." She left it at that. Now it's just me, an empty group chat, a bunch of blocked numbers, and honestly a weird sense of peace, not like healed or any of that, just quiet. I see Dad's car drive by sometimes. He still has his own place, but I know his cash is eat up. Can't access accounts in my name, can't pull his usual moves. He tried to guilt me on Facebook, passive-aggressive status about children forgetting where they come from. Nobody liked it. Austin and Hilda moved in with her sister, which is honestly a win for her sister, because she always hated Austin. Miranda is still mad, is still quiet. Jordan tries to get people to play games on Discord, but nobody joins. The only real surprise was how many people just didn't pick a side like I thought. Everyone would go full scorched earth, but some cousins just quietly unfriended me, some just stopped talking, some even sent me Venmo for their share of a gift card we all chipped in for last year, like that makes up for anything. Family is weird. So that's it. I did what I said I'd do. I took back what was mine, made them actually face consequences for once. No forgiveness, no making up, just boundaries. I'm not waiting for an apology, and I'm not giving one. If you think that makes me the villain, fine. If you think I should have let it go, you clearly never had family like mine. The only thing I'd change is maybe doing it sooner. But now they know I won't be their scapegoat again. Dinner table's a lot quieter now, but at least it's my table. And nobody can take that. Thanks for reading. I guess if you're waiting for a happy ending, this isn't that. It's just real, and it's finally over, or as over as it ever gets with